All right, traders, we have a lot to discuss. This is going to be a very important lesson with money-making information. Make sure you stay till the end. We are going to be going over today's trades, recapping the price action analysis, and I'm also going to be preparing you to trade the best setups at the best prices. I have one stock that is on my radar that I'm interested in doing put options for the short term heading into tomorrow, and I'm also going to be explaining to you step by step how we are planning to buy calls and puts heading into FOMC tomorrow. I'm going to share with you our trading strategies for that. So let's get straight into the information. So in terms of today was an overall good day. As a team as a whole, we did fairly well. 46 people green, only 4 were red. In terms of the market analysis, this was the pre-market watch list that I posted at 7:38 a.m. And look at what I had to say about this stock. I am bringing back stock plays within Trader Society. Not only will I be trading SPY, but I will also be trading very, very rare setups that come once in a blue moon. And I'm going to be sharing with you my next setup here very, very soon. So I found this one off my scanner in the pre-market heading into today, and I was looking at Microsoft, and I said, this will be my number one stock to watch today. I will be eyeing the gap support, the gap close reversal level at 345.11, which was literally the lows on the day. And I said, if this holds, if we see a bounce, I'm going to be super bullish on the day for calls with a strong close. And as you could see, if you take a look at Microsoft stock right here, it had a perfect gap close reversal to a T. This white line represents the previous closing price. Microsoft ended up opening higher than the previous closing price. That means it gapped up. And as you could see, as soon as it crashed to fill the gap, it formed a bullish double bottom on the 1 minute chart, and then it continued to form higher support above the previous highs of these 1 minute candles. See how the floor is down here at the gap and it's bouncing? That's bullish. See how it breaks out and the new floor and the new bottom wicks is above the previous resistance, above the high of these candles? That's super bullish, and that means the trend is now shifting from short-term crash to short-term uptrend. And it had a very strong gap close reversal. Microsoft calls went absolutely crazy. One of the best plays on the day. Congratulations for those of you who are self-sufficient enough to just visually use the watch list and say, okay, Microsoft just formed a double bottom on the 1 minute chart at the gap. It's beginning to reverse. It's breaking out. It's forming a higher floor with multiple bottom bullish wicks at the previous resistance right here. These are all bullish confirmations that it's going to have a gap close reversal. Now, why was that play on my radar in the first place? And this is what I'm going to explain to you. I want you to visually look at the daily chart, and this was the reason why I was interested in Microsoft calls. Take a look at this daily chart. I want you to study throughout the past year what happens in terms of Microsoft when it drops for a couple days, so it's dropping a couple days sideways, and then it forms this pin, and this is going to be a bullish pin at support. And you can see right here, very similar. Bullish pin at support. What does it do? It explodes to the upside, right? Very, very bullish. And you can just see there's been many occurrences when Microsoft is at key support and it forms that bullish overall wick at support. It tends to spike back up several times. You could just visually see all the times it ended up overall spiking after it formed that trend reversal candlestick after it sold off for a few days. Not only that, but I was looking at the weekly chart, and the weekly chart was giving me strong confirmations that I was going to go bullish. If you've been studying the weekly chart of a lot of stocks formed a similar bearish wick right here, but in terms of this bullish market, the bears have been consistently getting faked out. Whenever one of these bearish wicks forms, what ends up happening is it tends to spike back up to the high of this, and then that's where it crashes again, and then that's where a good opportunity was for puts. So I was looking at the weekly chart, and I was saying, if Microsoft has a green day today and it holds support, it's going to have a very strong breakout to start to retest the high of this. And that's exactly what started happening as soon as it had a gap close reversal. And this is what we call a delayed reaction right here. If you were to visually compare Microsoft to SPY along with all the information that I gave you, you can just visually see SPY did the same thing, except SPY did it first. This is what we call a delayed reaction. SPY was selling off in the pre-market, and then it bombs at market open, big spike. Microsoft was selling off a little bit into the market open, not during pre-market. It was selling off a little bit into the market open. Delayed reaction, As soon as it hits the gap, it has a reversal, and then it begins to follow the SPY. So if you were watching SPY, you could have said, SPY had a small drop here in the pre-market, and it spiked massively at open. And if you looked at Microsoft did not spike yet. It was dropping, but then it formed bullish double bottom support. And then when you see the break above this resistance right here, and it's forming higher support bullish wicks, that's your confirmation for calls. So guys, please utilize the strategies, utilize the watch list, become self-sufficient. You don't need me to alert those trades. You need the game plan and you need the education. If you have the right plan and you're watching the right setup, right, which is what I'm going to do, I'm going to point you in the right direction, and you have the skill set, you have the strategy, you know what to look for, which is literally what I just explained. Very, very simple. Then go with the calls. Everyone should have been in on that particular play. Now, in terms of SPY, let's get to the good stuff. Actually, we're going to save SPY for the end. So this is my stock play. So like I said, I'm bringing back my stock plays. When I see something good, I will put it on your radar, right? Now, PayPal. I am bearish on PayPal for the short term. You guys know, if you've been following this channel, I've invested over $100,000 in PayPal stock at $67. I'm very, very bullish on the company for the long term. If it has a big drop, I will be adding. But in terms of the short term, I think we're going to have a drop tomorrow. And the reason why I say this is this. I want you to study the daily chart of PayPal, and you can visually see whenever it hits major resistance, it tends to drop when it forms this candlestick right here. So you can visually see, just look at this bearish daily candlestick right here, and look what happens the next day. The previous closing price was the top, was the high, so the inverse of Microsoft, and then it has a bearish gap close reversal, and it sells off hard. And you could see the same daily candlestick just formed, and it's at key major resistance. So in terms of the game plan with PayPal, this is going to be very, very simple, guys. All we're looking for is that previous closing price, which was $72.96, to react as a resistance. So if you see Microsoft struggle, if you see PayPal struggling at $73, you see it's rejecting, you see it's selling off. If you see there is resistance at that previous closing price and it's starting to form bearish confirmations, you need to get input options and you need to scalp those put options. Because what the daily chart is telling me is, it is telling me if PayPal forms resistance at $73, it is going to have a nice drop and close weak. Now, we're not going to be holding till the close, expecting it to close weak. We're going to be getting in and we're going to be getting out. So just look for $73 to react as a resistance. Now, if $73 breaks through and we're in puts, we get stopped out. If $73 reacts bullish, we avoid puts. That means history is not repeating itself and the strategy is not working out. If there's no confirmation, though, you shouldn't be in the play in the first place. Look for some sort of resistance, right? But if it breaks above 73, you can set a price alert for below 73, and then later on, if you see it react bearish, buy the put options. So the play is PayPal put options. If you see it is dropping, forming resistance at $73, $72.80, right? So what you need to understand about this overall situation with PayPal is, this is your make or break level, $72.80. $72.80 will send it off a cliff. If you see $72.80 forming resistance cracking, we're going to have a nice rug pull to $71.90. That's where we're going. And you sell into this bullish dip. You sell into the move. You don't hope that support cracks, especially in a bullish market. You sell into the move. You don't see how it reacts. You identify where the support is and you sell in the move. Utilize this information that I share with you on Microsoft and PayPal for future plays and future opportunities, because these are great setups, folks. I gave a very good oversold plan to buy calls on Microsoft, and now I'm doing the same strategy just on the inverse side. I'm doing it for puts. You can see PayPal had a gap to fill here at $75. It's clearly overbought for the short term. It's due for a short-term pullback. And if you look at the daily chart, all it's got to do is form resistance at $72.80 and crack to have a very, very nice drop to $71.90. So that's the game plan. That's what we're looking to do. PayPal's number one focus, and the reason why it's number one focus is because the daily chart is confirmed bearish. All we need to do is look at the 1 minute chart from there. So I'm not going to be looking at the 30-minute chart. I'm looking at the 1 minute chart. The daily chart is already confirmed bearish. It is already bearish. So I'm just looking at the 1 minute candles. If I see some resistance, I'm buying puts. in and out, and then you can call it. You can literally call it. If this play happens, first hour of the day, just walk away and call it. So let's get into SPY now. So in terms of SPY, we have a lot to discuss. Today was a fairly good day trading SPY. In terms of what we need to discuss, we have FOMC coming out to tomorrow. Now, if you are going to trade during FOMC past 2 p.m. and then 2:30 p.m., those are where the volatile moves are going to happen, you need to size down. Make sure you are sizing down. Make sure you protect your capital. Make sure you keep your capital. Do not go taking any big risk. Do not make this volatile day a make or break account, a make or break type of day for your account. You need to play it safe, and you need to be taking small position sizes and scaling back. You can also look into further expirations to help protect you in a sense of, volatility, not having as high volatility. However, the contracts will be more expensive. Now, these are some tips I can give you real quick. So in terms of some strategy talk, this is some tips I can give you. So what you're going to want to do is wait for the bull or bear traps to get created first. Do not go tossing a coin at 2 p.m. thinking it's going to go up or down. Don't do that. That's gambling. Wait for someone to get trapped first. Wait for the coin to flip first. So let me give you some examples. Let's say the SPY is at $455. So it's at $455. FOMC comes out. It has a big breakout. It has a massive move to the upside. So what do we know? We know the bears just got trapped at 455, right? Wherever it's going to be, right? You know what I'm saying? So what you do is, since it had a massive breakout, you wait. And what are you waiting for? You're waiting for it to drop back down to that previous resistance where the bears got trapped, right? And then that's where you're going to buy the dip. You're going to buy the dip on the retest, and then you're going to sell into the rip. So you're going to buy the dip into this retest right here, sell into the rip, wait for the bears to get trapped first, right? Now, this is the other case scenario. Let's say SPY is at major resistance, and then it has a big pullback, right? So there's going to be a key support level where the bulls absolutely get trapped, right? So it's going to be consolidating like this, and then it's going to just fall off a cliff when it cracks this support level. So when you identify that level that triggered the major crash, the level where a massive sell-off occurred, where it dropped very, very quickly in large amounts in a short period of time. What you're going to want to do is let it crash. Don't chase it. Do not risk buying puts into a big drop. Wait for it to bounce back up to that previous support level, and then you're going to buy puts into that V. You're going to buy those puts when it retests the previous support because it should react as a resistance. This is how the money is made, right? So understand, if it breaks out, the bears got trapped. And if it retests that level, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to bounce because that's where the bears got fucking trapped. So you buy the retest, right? And then same thing here. If it has a big crash, identify the level where it crashed from, where it triggered that flash crash. And then once it rips back up to the level, buy the puts because that's where the bulls got trapped. Do that, rinse and repeat. You should do very well within this market, right? So you know what to look for. You're looking for the big levels where the bulls and bears are getting trapped. And then you're playing the retest of those levels, right? So that's the game plan for FOMC. Now, let's discuss levels in advance. So in terms of levels in advance that we can work with, the daily chart, in terms of how the daily chart looks, it's not telling me too much. It is telling me that we are due for a pullback, definitely. Now, in terms of some levels and some things we need to understand, we need to be focusing on overbought levels for puts that have not been tested. So what are some key levels on the daily chart that have not been tested for puts? $458. $458 is very strong resistance level. I like 458. There is also a gap to fill that nobody is talking about at 461.55. So I need you to keep 458 and 460, 461 on your radar for puts. Those are the best levels for puts, and that's what we're going to be focusing on heading into tomorrow. Now, in terms of call options, you need to be focusing on the oversold levels that have not been tested. So in terms of our new oversold levels for the SPY, it is going to be the following. Let me take a look at the pre-market right here just to make sure that I didn't miss anything in terms of new levels. So these are going to be our overall new levels. I want you to focus on this zone for a scalp on calls. 453.90 to 453.50. We should see a bounce at that zone. Now, some other levels for calls you can keep an eye on. 452.80. You got some nice bottom bullish wicks here with a major bear trap. And then you have very hard, strong support with a gap that's waiting to fill below for a potential gap close reversal at 452.20. And then we have some even lower levels in case things get really crazy at $450 and $448.50. So in terms of call options, the levels that you need to be watching a very, very close eye on are going to be that 453.80 to 453.50 key support that hasn't been tested. You can keep an eye on 453, but keep an eye on this gap. There's a gap to fill below at 452.18, and then there's key support at 451.50. Also keep an eye on these levels as well. 450 is an amazing level for calls. 448.50 is another great levels for calls. So those are all of our key levels for calls. And in terms of puts, you can keep an eye on 458. You can keep an eye on 460 to 461, right? Now, in terms of a quick price ladder breakdown, this is what we're going to be going over. So in terms of these levels that I'm going to give you, this is going to give you a better understanding on where the overall price action is heading. So if one of these key levels on the ladder reacts as a support level, reacts bullish, it's going to go up to the next level, to the next bracket. If one of the levels reacts as a resistance level, it's going to go down and drop to the next bracket. Not each level is created equally. Some of them are going to have bigger moves. That's why you need to be aware of all this. So let's start from the top of the daily chart. $461, 461 to 461.80. That is a key gap close reversal resistance zone that has not been tested. That is a very, very special level. 461.55, that's the exact level. 461.55, best level possible for puts, gap close reversal. Absolutely love it. I would feel comfortable even swing trading puts from that level. Key resistance that we will be keeping an eye on is going to be 458, a key major resistance level that has not been tested yet. We love 458 for puts. Very strong resistance right here at 458, 458, 458. You got a ton of resistance at 458. Absolutely love the idea of trying puts there. Those are the key levels that have not been tested. Now, in terms of below that, you could say 456.50, 455.50, and then what's under 455.50, you could say 454.50, and then we have the zone of 453.90 to 453.50, and then you have 452.80, and then you have 452, and then you have 450, and then you have 448.50, and then you have 447.50, and then you have 446, right? So we know some key levels for calls: 452, 450, 446, all great, perfect key levels for calls, especially 446. So that's the level and that's the breakdown, right? So if one of those levels reacts as support, we go up to the next level. If one of those levels reacts as a resistance, we go down to the next level. And like I said, not all levels are created equally. This is a very, very big move right here. 442.50 all the way to 446. You know, you got this massive gap. It's floating on thin air. That's a big bracket, right? So understand there's big differences. Whereas, you know, 458 to 456.70, not such a big bracket. It's a dollar point bracket. Still big, but it's not like 442 to 446. Understand that's the difference, right? Now, it's not going to get there right away, but that's where it's overall going to head if it reacts as support or resistance. You get what I'm saying, right? So those are our overall key levels. That's what we're interested in trading at. Along with this, we're waiting for, you know, we're going to be profiting off of people's misfortunes. That's how you take money from the market. We don't make money. We don't print money. We're not the fucking Fed. We take other people's money. That's what the stock market is. So we're going to wait for the coin to be tossed. And then when the coin is tossed, we know who the winning team is for the short term, for the scalpers, right? So if the coin flips to 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m., we're going to know, okay, SPY had a massive breakout. The bears just got destroyed. And then when it drops back down to the level, we're going to buy calls there because that's where the bears got trapped. Why would we want to buy puts at a level where the bears got absolutely destroyed? If I were bearish here and I tossed a coin and it had a big move and I didn't sell, the first thing I would do is exit my position if it dropped back down to the level where I got trapped at, because it's a terrible fucking entry. It's common sense. And then in terms of, you know, the bearish and the puts, in terms of the calls, in terms of the bearish, the puts, right? You just look for a big crash. You identify, okay, what was the level where SPY cracked support, where it broke consolidation, and it triggered a flash crash? It dropped 1-2 points very, very quickly in a short period of time. You identify the level, you identify the consolidation of where it triggered, and then once it spikes back up after it's done crashing from that key fucking level, then you hit those puts on the retest, right? So that's the game plan for that, right? So these levels are not disclosed. We just need to wait for that to actually fucking trigger. And then in terms of the meantime, while we're waiting, we're looking for reversals. And then I gave you the key levels for reversals. We're keeping an eye on 452. We're keeping an eye on 450. And we're keeping an eye on, 440, 850, 447.50, 446. All good levels for calls. And then for puts, keep an eye on 457. 458 is an amazing level. 460, 150 is the best level. That's how we trade the best setups to this prices, and that's how we do it within Trader Society. So here's the deal, man. Trader Society is going to be closing. We are no longer going to be available and open to the public beginning end of July. We are going to be working with members on a closer basis. We're going to be upgrading the servers and educations within the program. The video lesson library, the Discord server is going to be a lot of upgrades. We now have a private chat within the program where it's just moderators talking and you can see the best traders alerting their trades in real time just for the mods. That's one of the new upgrades we just did, right? So we're going to have some serious upgrades. So we're closing the program and we're going to be working with members within Trader Society on a closer basis as it's closed. And then within time, we will be reopening up the program back to the public, but we will be raising the price a lot once it is reopened. It's going to double at the bare minimum, right? So if you do want to join, this is the best time to join right now before we close the program. And if you cannot afford it, that is completely fine. We are going to be launching a new program very, very soon that is affordable to everyone at a small monthly recurring fee. One of the lead moderators and traders within Trader Society has launched his own program. He's been doing this program within Trader Society. Over 200 members joined it, and he's been doing it for nearly 6 months now. And I've been working with him. He's partnered with Trader Society. We're in on this together. And basically, we've created a situation where if you cannot afford Trader Society, then you can join his program for a small recurring fee. And his job is to make you money so you can have financial freedom. And then if you like, you can upgrade to join Trader Society. We've been waiting to raise the price on Trader Society. One of the reasons why we decided to not raise the price is because we did want to stay affordable to the masses. But it's getting to a point where it's a high quality program and we are ready to take things to the next level and upgrade the servers and make it a more high quality room now that we have this other program in place. So we took one of the best moderators, the best traders within the chat, and he now has his own program at a small recurring fee that's affordable to you. And the goal is to use that as a stepping stone to get upgraded to Trader Society and learn new strategies and trade the best setups to this prices with him along with our team and I, right? So you'll be getting access to one moderator within the chat, live trading stream every single day, along with the key levels, the watch list, his trade alerts, voice channel, all of that stuff. And the goal is to consistently make you money, to get you financially free, to make you a self-sufficient trader, to get you a lot of training, and then you can upgrade to within Trader Society. That will actually be one of the methods that we're going to be using to make sure that the people who join Trader Society are more well experienced. Because if they are trained by one of our own, then they'll be very, very well experienced once they join Trader Society, and that will automatically make it a higher quality chat room because they already received a lot of training from one of the moderators originally before they joined Trader Society. So those are some strategies and those are some changes that we are planning to make within Trader Society. If you do want to join Trader Society, it's the first link down below. And in terms of the other program that's going to be launching, I recommend everyone joins that one as well to try it out. That is going to be launching very, very soon. Stay tuned for the announcement. I will see you guys tomorrow. We are going to absolutely crush it. It's going to be a phenomenal green day tomorrow. I will see you guys till then.